What is up, Tech Yes citizens? And you'll notice I spelt that what with a W-A-D because we've got a wad of cash ready to get some deals down under in Australia for the used PC parts hunt of the month. And I am sorry I am late with this, but I had to fly in from Japan and I had to do a little bit of rest and recovery. And also we've got ourselves a pair of wheels already to well, someone's probably excited that I'm getting some deals, but we've got a new car here, well, used. Of course, we got this for a deal as well, and we've already got a GTX 1660 Super, 135 Aussie dollars. I'll put the USD pricing up on the screen for you, but I'm pretty sure we got this thing for under 100 United States dollars. For a 1660 Super, that's an absolute bargain. But we've also already lined up some more used deals. So let's jump in the new Tech Yes used parts hunt mobile and get some awesome bargains.
Today's video is sponsored by SCD Keys, and for as little as $14.50 during the Black Friday period, using that coupon code BFTYC, you can get a single end user license for Windows 10 Pro, which works on new builds and even upgrading your existing rig. Links in the description below to find out more.
We started this parts hunt a little bit in the afternoon. It's now creeping into nighttime and I've got some more deals lined up. But first off, I have to get home and eat a pizza because who doesn't love pizza? But second thing is, we went to get a replacement camera. If you guys didn't know, my camera broke down in Japan and I'm borrowing a camera off a friend until I can get a replacement camera. Now, I was gonna buy one used off a student here at Bond University in the Gold Coast, but he said it was like brand new. And then when I came, I agreed on a price before I came to get this thing. But then checking it out, I plugged the mic in and the mic port's all wobbly and it's like it's almost ready to fall out. And I cannot have that if I'm recording videos for you guys. So basically guys, remember, it's always okay to just walk away from a deal. If you don't like it, if you're getting some bad vibes, just walk away. That's it. Just say, sorry, thanks for your time, but your ad said this and it's not what I'm looking for. And this is what the product's actually doing. So sometimes it's okay to walk away, brothers. But let's go get now a deal for a motherboard and a CPU, a Ryzen 3 3300X and a B450 motherboard and a cooler. We negotiated this for 120 Aussie dollars. I need some motherboards and CPU combos, and this has struck the right price. And we've also lined up some other deals. So stay on board for the ride. We just got another deal for the Friday night here. This is a Ryzen 7 3700X 8-core 16 thread, 32 gigabytes of DDR4 memory, and we got a B450 Aorus Pro motherboard and a 240mm water cooler. We got all this as a combo. They were initially asking 450 Aussie dollars. I just said, hey mate, how about 350? Initially he declined. Then I messaged him about a few hours later, but he wanted me to give him 400, but I said 350 is my max bid. And he came back and he said, all right, just come and take it off my hands for 350. So we just scored ourselves a pretty good deal. They said they were upgrading to the 13900K. And so, hey, one man's loss is another man's gain in the land of used parts. And there is another 2 potential deals. It is late, but it's a Friday night. I'm packed full of energy and passion. Just got back and we just had pizza. So when you just have pizza for dinner, that means you can do anything. So we got a message just while I'm mobile here. It's past 9 p.m., but it's a little bit late, but we're gonna flick a few messages and see if we can go get an RX 6600 for 140 Aussie dollars, which would be maybe around 100 USD. That's insanely cheap for an RX 6600. And there's also another deal with that motherboard and CPU. So we're just gonna organize our ping pong in the brain on the navigation system and make the most, and chart, that's right, we're gonna use the proper words here, chart the most efficient and effective course to get the best deals, but also save the most time. don't want to pay any more, and you don't want them to get angry. So if you start off with the hey man, even if they don't want it, they're not going to care. So I think it's a good strategy. Let's just go hit a few more hey mans up. Hey man. Hey man. All right, so we just picked up a Ryzen 3 3300X and a B450 motherboard, and it's got the cooler with it, and we got this for 120 Aussie. And the guy said when I was messaging them, they knew my channel. So it was awesome. It's always awesome when you're on the road deals hunting and you meet people that watch your stuff. So you guys are awesome. Thanks for watching Tech Yes City. And actually, speaking of deals though, we just messaged someone when we were stationary before doing the Heymans, and we got a Ryzen 5 3600. They were asking 100 Aussie. We put in an offer of 80, and they said no. And then I just said, damn, I was upset. And they just came back and said, sure, we'll take it. So it's pretty late though. It's past 10 o'clock right now, 10 p.m. And I got my little boy with me. He's got his Ghostbusters shirt on. He's loving it, but it's getting pretty late. We've got to get to bed soon. So I'm going to call it tonight, and then in the morning, we'll go get the rest of the deals. So yeah, the RX 6600 guy said he'd be back home late, but it's already 10:30, so it might be like midnight. That's way too late. So just like 1 a.m., I'm still out deals hunting, and that's not going to happen. So we are going to go home right now, let the batteries recharge, and they are not made of lithium or anything like that. They're just biological, pure essence, pure shamanistic energy. We're going to let them recharge, and then we're going to get into these deals in the morning. Whoa! It is a new day, and we have been looking for new deals, and we've already found actually quite a few. First deal we're going to pick up is a GTX 1070, 8 gigs. So it's a mini edition, and they said it's in good condition, and we put in an offer of 100 Aussie dollars. So that's around 60 something USD, which is an absolute bargain for a 1070. So you're gonna pick that up soon. Then there was a GTX 970 buried within an ad where they had a motherboard and video card. That's what they said in the listing. They said they wanted 100 for the GTX 970. I put in an offer of 70. They came back at 80. I just did sorry, man. Always got to put the man in there after. You guys know that's the theme going forward right now. And then they came back and said, sure, come pick it up. So we've got two graphics cards that are close to each other. We're going to pick those up. Then we've also got that Ryzen 5 3600 from yesterday. And also the RX 6600, the guy's ghosting us a little bit. But that's because probably the GPU is too cheap to begin with. But hey, it looks like it is a buyer's market. People weren't kidding when they said, Brian, it is like selling things is so difficult here. So that means the power is in favor of the buyer right now. And if you've got some pennies saved up, you can go literally pick up these parts for pennies on the dollar. And that's what we're going to do right now. So we've got a bit of an update here. We just picked up a GTX 1660 Super for 160 Aussie dollars. They were asking 200. We dropped in the offer of 160, so there's a little bit of a problem there as well. We're gonna have to fix that fan, but that's an easy fix. Usually you just gotta pull it off a little bit and then put some WD-40 in it and you're good to go. So there's also the RX 6600 as well. They got back to us, and the good news is they got that 140 Aussie dollars for an RX 6600. So we're gonna pick that up right now. Also the GTX 970 guy, he got back to us finally. He said come earlier in the morning, then he sort of ghosted us, then he got back to us. Maybe he was hoping someone would offer some higher price for the 970, but we're gonna go pick that up this afternoon. And also after we get this RX 6600, we're going to get the Ryzen 5 3600, and there's also, what else have you got with that deal? There's a i7-2600 GTX 950 whole motherboard kit. They're gonna ask 70 Aussie dollars for that. So 150 Aussie dollars in total. We get a Ryzen 5 3600, i7-2600 motherboard kit. So pretty good deals. I mean, these are actually really good deals for my first day back in Australia. And we've just got here the RX 6600 8GB, 140 Aussie dollars. I just did the calculation in the phone and that is 95 US dollars. This is from a, was it 329 USD MSRP card? Down to $95? That is an absolute bargain. So this is probably one of the best bargains I've got yet in terms of GPUs. But also one thing I've noticed too with graphics cards is that if you look at in Japan, I was buying the RTX 3060 Ti's, the RTX 3060s, 3070s, because they were cheaper over there. And actually comparing those prices to the local market here in Australia, they were the best deals over there. But then when I come back here, the 1660 Supers, the RX 6600s, these are the better deals here. And they're actually cheaper here than they were in Japan. So this is the thing about supply and demand. Always find what's in excess supply and just pick it up. And speaking of excess supply, we've got to go get a few more deals. And now we are back at the Tech Yes studio with all the deals laid out on the table. And we actually picked up, before we got back to the Tech Yes studio, that Ryzen 5 3600. But then attached to that, I asked, is there anything else you want to sell? And they had this old PC with an i7-2600, 16 gigabytes of RAM, GTX 950, 500 watt power supply. Now, the case, of course, is really banged up, but they wanted 70 Aussie dollars for it. And I just said, sure, let's take that. And then while I was there, he was actually at his friend's house, and his friend was upgrading his GPU to an RX 6700 XT, and he let his GTX 1650 Super go for 100 Aussie dollars. So that's somewhere in the vicinity of 65 US dollars based on current exchange rates. Absolute bargains right here. And in total, we've just absolutely slammed it this month. Getting back into Australia, I thought I'd go the extra mile, search through a heap of different listings, and I actually didn't really even touch Gumtree a whole lot. This was just on Facebook Marketplace where I picked up a lot of really good deals. Now, we're going to go over these deals in a separate video because I believe, and actually know, for instance, a lot of these graphics cards were from crypto miners, especially the RX 6600. He was just straight up and said, yep, pulling this off a mining bench. He actually got into crypto on the end of the cycle, and he said he was a bit devastated because he's losing a lot of money on these cards. I just said somehow that, yeah, that's just the way it goes. So he just, I mean, he's really nice about it, really cool dude. And then also the GTX 1660 Super, they said it was used on a mining bench as well. The GTX 1070, for instance, they said they were upgrading their GPU, same with the 1650 Super. However, there's also another GTX 1660 Super that I do believe, due to that fan being a little bit blip, I do believe that was used on a crypto mining bench as well. However, guys, we will have that guide coming very soon. Stay tuned for that. And in total, what we've got here, I'll put the tally up on the screen for you guys. For this month, we had around 1,250 Aussie dollars, and in USD, 850 USD for, in total, 6 graphics cards, and also a whole motherboard CPU kit and another motherboard and CPU combo, a whole PC. I'm just absolutely blown away by the deals right now. They are getting ridiculously good. But you guys also asked me on my first impressions on the market when I got back here, and it is a buyer's market in Australia at the moment. Make no mistake about it, it is a buyer's market, as opposed to last year, it was a seller's market, and especially the year before that. So 2 years of seller's markets, you can at least expect at least another year of a buyer's market, in my opinion. And we'll go into this in another video as well. So we've got some juicy content lined up for you guys where we'll give you the quick rundown right now, but I believe things will get cheaper going forward right now based on the information we have, because recently there's some information coming out in America that the central bank over there is losing money. They're paying interest to all these commercial banks that have money deposited with them. However, that is the money essentially, if we think about this, we go deep into this, that was the money that they created and lent the banks. So they're paying basically interest on their own money. And so they could basically put a quick stop to this. And if they do that, they're essentially going to sell assets on their balance sheet really quickly and rein that money in so they don't have to pay interest on it and essentially lose any more money. And that could mean really tight conditions for lending. And essentially that could bring the current cheap money economy to its knees. So that's something to look out for. I believe that's a scenario that could play out very quickly, very fast, and it can creep up on a lot of people where interest rates start going up a lot higher than people expect. But the central banks, they're going to protect their own interests first. And if they're losing money, what's the first thing they're going to do? Well, they're going to stop losing money. And so when they do that, at the moment, basically, they're losing money and they can't pay the Treasury, and the Treasury can't pay the government. So the government is then going to be tightening up as well. So there's a lot of conditions at the moment that point towards deals coming up and things getting a lot cheaper, at least on the horizon. And so for me, I only know one thing, and that's buy low, sell high, or sell high, buy low. And I was selling high back in 2021, 2020, and now I'm buying low. And I'm picking up a lot of this stuff. And I'm just sharing it with you guys. I'm being transparent. You know the tech yes man. I'm always just going to be straight up with you guys. Share what I think of the market, share my thoughts and opinions. And so if you're a PC flipper, the days of making those easy, crazy profits, I think they're done. And we're coming into a much more competitive market where, for instance, even me, I'm probably going to be going for maybe $50 profit a flip. And even then, I'm getting parts a lot cheaper than I used to get. So in other words, my PCs that I'm selling are going to be offering just tremendous amount of value going forward. So people buying off me and know they're going to be getting a good deal. And so hopefully that spans through the rest of the market and people can get back into PC gaming for a really good price again. Anyhow, guys, with all that out of the way, do let us know in the comments section below what was your favorite deal of the month right here. For me personally, it's a big toss-up between this Ryzen 7 3700X kit that we got here, that combo. I thought that was really nice. And also this RX 6600. I was just blown away by how cheap I got this thing. So I'm keeping my eyes out for the really good deals, picking them up when they come along. And again, when you're getting something a third of its MSRP price, you know you're getting a pretty good deal, especially on a card that at its MSRP price was already a decent price to begin with. So do let us know in the comment section below what you think of the deals, what's your favorite deal. Love reading your thoughts and opinions as always. And also thank you guys for supporting us in the comments on Twitter. I know you guys want to see this kind of content. We got a lot more of it coming. So do say sub and ring that bell to get the content as soon as it drops. And also we will be beginning the question of the day again. That'll be coming back very soon. I'm just super excited to be back in Australia. And I mean, I'm just super excited in general. I mean, life's awesome for me. I've got my son with me and that's all that matters. So passion and energy, all that good stuff. Love, strength, and discipline, AKA LSD. That's going to be hitting your sub boxes more than it's ever been hitting it. So stay tuned for all these good content. It's going to drop. And I love each and every one of you guys. And I'm going to peace out for now. Bye.